Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Hello. Duranu here. Welcome back to Disco Elysium. Starting a little late today because I had a bunch of stuff I had to get done. Also had an eye appointment. So hey, just spent an oodle on new glasses and shades as well. Ugh. And to think I've got insurance for this stuff. Ouch. Anyway, last we left it, we just got into the Feld building. So an entirely new area that I haven't touched yet to go over. And this might be the place where Ruby's hiding. So cross your fingers. This might be it. Go ahead and I'm going to continue right off the bat because I didn't do anything since. Yeah, no, didn't do anything. I just walked in and it's so cool to have a new place to waltz around in. Let's see here. Already lots of little circles of discovery. Ew. Place is kind of a mess. I mean, it is an abandoned building, but still. Okay, so we've got a place we can squeeze into. Looks like. Not sure I want to try to go through there yet. I want to take a look at the remainder of the basement first. Old file folders. Looks like we got a couple points of interest. What's this here? Series of thick, dusty panes of glass.
This isn't just glass. These are old computation components.
Oh.
Yes, filament memories. From the time when wires were cast in glass, slides with an inlaid nervous system.
Okay. How'd they do that?
The how was a closely guarded secret. Something that was locked in safes in human heads across the river where they were manufactured. As to why, your fingers don't know.
Huh.
The why is easy. Because they hadn't come up with modern silicon-based systems yet. For vitreous cast filament memories, though, these seem incredibly advanced.
Hey, Kim, look, old cybernetics.
So it is. I think it is used to form a single system, slotted in the wall.
Now, and I also realized it probably would have been, I mean, it's late now in the game. Probably would have been easier to understand if I had read off the choices that I've been making. So I might be doing that here and there as I go on. I know we're already in the 20s in terms of videos, but better late than never. So this is all that remains of Feld R&D.
The rest of the building seems to have been picked clean.
Could this be part of the Feld playback experiment?
These? No. These are old filament memories. I hope you're not expecting to find that device here. You will be disappointed.
I already am disappointed, Kim.
All you will find here is pain.
Pain? What's this? A jacket, intersolary suit jacket? +1 suggestion. Interesting. Got myself some new outfit. It's weird because playing older RPGs and stuff, like, I'm expecting, one's usually finding like armor and weapons and blah blah blah. Here I had to go through a whole quest just to find my gun. And instead of really, although I do have one bit of armor, is just clothing with modifiers to it. Oh, a crevice in the wall. Oh, wow. Okay, before I go there, what's back here? Footprints. One of the souls appears more worn than the other. Okay, she was in here. Okay, hold on. Let's check this crevice now. What do we got? We got a bed. That looks like a bunk. Revolutionary propaganda. I wonder if that's the window that I, in a previous video, saw some movement in. Well, not in months, maybe years. Huh. Okay, it is. Oh, convenient. What's all this? Revolutionary's hat. I was just saying about finding clothing instead of like armor.
Could this have been the killer's hideout? And this narrow window, the point of origin of the shot that killed the mercenary?
I don't see that happening.
This does look like an embrasure, a slit made for shooting out of. Outside the window, the day is clear and as mild as can be in early spring.
It's a great place to hide, certainly.
Oh.
But there hasn't been anyone here in ages.
Okay, the killer views. Oh, I can't see the whirling rags. Okay, so it didn't come in here.
No one could get a clear view.
Or come from here.
Well, at least we've been thorough. I like thorough.
The lieutenant's voice betrays a slight disappointment, which he glosses over by reasserting control.
And we've got one more or two more items to note.
A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. A plaque reads, K. Mazov. There is a spiderweb in the lower left corner of the portrait. Years' worth of dust is shaken off. The full head of hair, matched by an ample moustache and sideburns, look a bit silly. Someone crouches, heels digging into wet sand. Hands sweep across the sand, grains sticking to the frayed skin of the fingertips. An old man sits on a slab of concrete and taps his fingers against the glass of a scope. You shudder.
Huh. Look, Kim, it's Comrade Mazov.
Yes, I can see that. Looks like some communists were hiding out here. They left a long time ago.
The lieutenant does not seem to share your enthusiasm.
A long time ago. How long?
Half a century? This was probably part of the network of defense posts the communards built against the amphibious landing. I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted.
What's with all these secret weapons caches and secret bunkers?
We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is, no one has gone through the trouble of cleaning out the old bunkers.
Maybe I should move in here. Seems cozy.
I won't stand in your way, but only after we're through with this case.
Could it be connected with the Mazov bust we found in the students' room?
Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some student. The youths always go for this kind of stuff.
Could someone have stopped through here recently?
You mean like Ruby?
Yeah.
No, I think
No?
we've stumbled on a piece of history.
Alright, let's go. We've got footprints over there. I'm going to take a look at this room before I go deeper in that way. I just want to see if there's a possibility of getting in. Oh, there is. Okay, I didn't expect it to jump. I expected more of a interaction. Okay, it looks like we've got a lot to go through here still. So I want to go back down. Let's check. I want to complete the combing of the basement before I go any further upwards in the building. Okay. Found some footprints here. Or not here. Over here. We got point of interest. What's this? Whoop, 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 whoop. On a natural buzzing. Okay. Find another way around. Oh, what is that? Okay, that's something. Okay, so it's a little maze thing. I see the footsteps. Louder buzzing sound.
There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell.
Lieutenant, do you feel something?
No, what do you mean?
A pain, a strange tingling.
I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh.
I saw them too. Footprints with the right sole weren't smooth.
Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully.
What do you mean?
Once we detain a credible suspect, Who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? Will set in motion events we have no control over.
You will upset the balance of power in Martinez. The deadlock between the company and the Union will destabilize. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
We found out Everart's plan to take the harbor. Maybe we should tell Joyce about it, or we do know Joyce knows about the murder, but I may have other things to discuss with her. Maybe we should finish looking for the Speed Freaks FM mystery. How bad do you think things could get? I should tell Joyce about it. We do know Joyce knows about the murder. We still have other things that maybe we should...
If you want to do that, then yes. We'd be advised to finish every lead. I don't think we'll have the chance to after...
Okay, so this might be a point of no return.
Well, we are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground.
If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done.
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking.
Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.
Okay, so I think that's, you know, I'm gonna save at this point. I'm still going on. I mean, I've only been playing for like 11 minutes. But I'm gonna go ahead and save. That looks like a point of no return, so I'm gonna go ahead at this point investigate the rest of this building like I wanted to. And then there's the question if I want to go back to Joyce regarding that info. Do I want to side with Everart? Do I want to side with White Pines? Oh, what's this? Got a postcard. And we got another point of interest. Glass covered crime and dust. You can barely see out. That let us outside. What's this here? It's a long way down. What do we got? Gust of the wind. Really that high? Central support building destroyed. I'm not seeing anything else of note up here. So that was really... That didn't give me a whole lot, did it? Yeah, that's not a whole lot. And I don't see any... Not seeing anything else of note. Yeah, that ladder does not look stable. Unless this was just the other way up if I had taken the ladder. I mean... Well, yeah, it's obviously the other way up if I had taken the ladder, but... If I was successfully taking the ladder... Okay, that's just the other entrance. That's it. It looks like we very well might be coming to a conclusion. So it sounds like, do I side with Everart or Joyce? So Everart or White Pines? To be quite honest, you know what? I'm not too sure because I see benefits to both things. It's a really big moral type dilemma here. The one hand, if Everart's true with what he wants to do, I mean, that could see some improvements to the general lifestyle of the people here. However, no, you know what? No, I forget about the point that he is going to be producing illicit drugs. And also, there are going to be people that are put out of their home as well. I mean, it's not the best home, maybe, but home is home. It's what you got. Let's see if... Yeah, Joyce is over here. I don't have to go all the way back to Everart.
Waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards.
Still no change here.
Simmer down. Simmer down, bastards.
Let's see what Joyce has to say.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see.
All around you, rain keeps falling down. On the wooden boards she's standing on, and on the water around you.
Of course.
Okay, I don't see the change here.
Oh?
Oh, okay, so there is a change here.
Sounds like he has you running errands, Detective. A well-established dominance ritual. Where did... Here?
Oops.
Oh, no. What does that bloated hellbat want with my little cinder block town?
It's clear the village has already grown dear to her. Strangely so. Why did she come here?
Yeah, interesting.
No, don't tell me. I don't want to know what he has in store for this place. Probably a statue. It's a statue, right? A giant statue of him. Or better yet, his twin brother. Practically the same thing, but makes him seem less like a psychopath. A youth center with Edgar Clare's statue on top of it. Go ahead. Help him. Make it so. I have no power to stop him. I should be. In my youth, I had a brief dalliance here in Martinez. He was an older man with impossibly broad shoulders. He's probably dead by now. Even his shack is long gone. Not that it matters. These buildings are all carbon copies of one another. Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. We had boats and... Don't hold it against me. My paramour certainly did not. Not overly so. It's not like this was the only place we visited. Me and my girlfriends from Azon with our shiny boats, like reavers. We told ourselves we were the worst thing to happen to the coast since the Coalition landed in '08. Imagine.
She's sentimental, all right. You don't know enough about her to find out why exactly. She will keep her secrets for now.
You would prefer something else, not a youth center?
First, there won't be a youth center. Whatever he has told you, all the residents, it'll be something horrific, perhaps even worse than a statue. So, yes, I do. A fishery. I've been speaking with Lillian here. She gave me the idea. The infrastructure is all here, and with my connections...
Yeah, and then that would bring commerce, jobs, and without the drugs.
Sadly, it's just one of the million things I'll never get round to.
Oh.
I just have to accept that I'll never be the rich candy girl who goes around solving people's problems with money.
So you're sad you can't buy the place?
Yes. I'm sad I'll never have the time, Detective. I've always wanted a dilapidating fishing village.
She is more defensive about it than usual.
Full of ghosts and ancient memories. Has this errand yielded you any information? A referral, you mean? I take it this was for someone in the RCM.
Yeah, don't ask.
Don't answer that.
No, I mean like a real door to someone's house.
Oh my. A real door?
The lieutenant does not say anything, but you hear the nylon of his jacket rustle as he looks at you.
Yeah, to be done. I got information. It was useful to the case.
That's good to hear, Detective. Police work is rarely pretty, but it sounds like you did what you had to do.
Her bartering mind cannot fathom that you didn't ask anything in return.
Frankly, what was done was not pretty at all, but neither was it illegal, and it was not for nothing.
This seems serious.
I advise you to be very selective with what information you choose to share. This may have consequences beyond our line of sight.
Everart says the Wild Pine sent mercenaries after the Union, and now one's dead.
Misinformation. This is all because we haven't shared information on the lynching yet. See? Already the adversary uses it to their advantage. Don't let him. Hurry up on that probe. The moment you tell me you're finished at the traffic jam, I will gladly tell you the company's side of the story.
She must really want you to look into the drugs. Otherwise, she'd tell you. She was worried for a moment that she's overplayed her hand by not sharing info sooner. Then she settles down, curious to hear more.
This might set off more than I want to. Let's see. Everart asked the Union military wing to fully cooperate with the investigation. That's all I've got to
Naturally,
say.
Detective. There are lighter topics to gossip about.
The whole thing is a takeover.
A takeover.
Yes, it's not a strike. You're being let in because there's nothing to negotiate. The Union is taking the terminal. He's also using the drug trade to finance the harbor.
Taking it.
Green livery, changing into red, blot by blot. Like a cancer of the blood, metastasizing.
Then we're talking about a war. Everart needs to let me into the harbor at once. We need to talk about this.
He's ready for war. They all are.
They most certainly are not. Crenell has 1,000 men on their payroll. The next batch will be a platoon of 20 men and a gunship.
I've seen the Union's forces. They are better organized than these mercenaries. They also have the support of the people of Revachol West. It will take more than Crenell to wipe them out. Wild Pines will need to send more and better equipped men. Make no mistake, ma'am. I am sure you have the money. The question is, how many years and how many lives are you willing to sacrifice?
What do you suggest I do?
First, will this affect your decision-making process?
Everything affects the decision-making process, Detective.
Officer?
For once, I don't seem to know what the right thing to do is.
It's not the RCM's job to make these decisions. The workers should have the harbor, cut off the snake's head. Everett's pushing all this. It's a bluff, call it. Have them open fire, bring in everything you have, wipe them off the face of the earth. Look at your wrist. It's apocalypse o'clock. Time to commence the gloaming. I wish there was a disco option. Okay, there are two that I really want to pick. Maybe three. The two in order of preference, it's not the RCM's job to make these decisions. It's apocalypse o'clock, time to commence the gloaming, and I wish there was a disco option. Those are the three options that I really want to pick. And now the question is what? It looks like I'm making a very big decision here. I am trying to play this character straight, to be quite honest. I did do some goofy stuff. I understand that. I am goofy by nature. But I am trying to play my character. Again, this is my first run through the game. I do intend to fully play this. I don't know if I'll stream another run through. But I do definitely intend to replay the game with different decision making, different archetype, I guess you'd say, just to see what changes and how things evolve from there. But for now, I'm kind of playing the straight detective, straight dick, yes. And as much as I like these two opinions or these two responses, I think I'm going to go with it. It's not RCM's job to make these decisions.
Of course. Your job is to clean up after them. And it looks like there will be a lot of cleaning to be done in the near future.
So what are you going to do?
What will I do?
Her arms fall to her sides. Her spine relaxes.
Did I ever tell you how they discovered this Isola? During our talks?
You said you would one day.
It may be the only break we've ever caught as a species. The last one for 400 years. The nations who colonized this Isola called theirs Muindi, the world. It was all they knew, all they thought would be. That there would be something more was a gamble, akin to another world, or life after death. The Pale was thought to be impregnable, perpetual. Irene la Navigateur, the Queen of Suren, sent 8 expeditions, one after the other, into the mass at the edge of the world. 5 of the crews did not return. 2 did, but had lost their minds.
Each of those expeditions would have been led by an admiral. Sounds like a purge. Like she was purging her political rivals.
That sounds very political.
There was no precedent for such an undertaking. People thought she was punishing the admirals, or had gone mad, or both. Until after years of trial and error, and the development of a strict psychological regime imitating the creation process of poetry,
Called Volta do Mar, or Return from the Sea.
the 8th expedition returned sane and intact. They told of a new continent of matter. They told the Queen and her counselor, Dolores Day, that the Pale had begun to condense, day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute, slowly raining down until it formed a vast ocean.
The air is cold and scented with petrichor. There are rain circles on water
What's
all
petrichor?
around.
I'll have to look that up.
Humidity crawls up your back like a piano trill. So does the lieutenant. His mouth is slightly open as he looks to the sky. The droplets feel warm, like spring rain.
This ocean?
The phenomenon has never again been encountered. For a time, the crew thought they were experiencing a hallucination. The mass hand proclaimed, "Lancielend, Lancielend," the signal to wake up. But they could not. They were sane and conscious, as islands began to appear on the horizon. There are 78,000 uninhabited islands in the Insulindian archipelago, officer. The freckled face of God.
You've thought it a million times.
After life, death, after death, life again, after the world, the Pale, after the Pale, the world again.
A total shift in human comprehension of reality. On the second day, a great skua was shot down above the flagship Elysium. The bird was preserved and brought back, along with pollen. 4 years later, the Queen's counselor was proclaimed Her Innocence Dolores Day, the elected world spirit. The age of humanism, internationalism, and parliamentary rule followed. We were high.
This was the last break we got?
The nations of Mundi proceeded to discover 5 more Isolae, or they discovered us, all in the rush of the great inter-Islary reconnection, but these others weren't uninhabited. We had to kill people there, wipe out indigenous populations, gunboat economies, or they came to do the same for us, or had done to each other. But here, there was no one but the skua, the Liliat Sea, and the Blood Beach, and the River Esperance. It was the new world. The Mondials used it to amass the greatest concentration of wealth mankind has ever seen. Revachol, the suzerain,
And then what happened?
revolution, poverty, and the mercurial rise of capitalism.
Leaving us here.
On Caillou, the Pebble, the largest of the fertile uninhabited islands of the northeast Insulindian archipelago. 4 centuries and 2 revolutions later,
The great skua was the first bird they saw?
the first living autonomous organism, proof of reality. It's the symbol of Insulinde, detective. The coat of arms of the suzerain and the wings on the crest of the commune.
Oops.
In your defense, it is a nasty creature who plucks food from the throats of lesser birds. Yet much like Revachol, it is also magnificent and rare. Imagine the suzerain of seagulls.
It's raining.
It is. Soon it will be spring and everything will blossom.
The gangs will run wild, taking motor carriages, ferrying amphetamines through Coal City. Spring is tough in Revachol.
What will you do?
I will surrender Terminal B to the Union.
Is that within your means?
She puts her hand in the rain. She's silent for a second.
We will see.
Ma'am, this may well unravel property law this side of the river. If that occurs, we may never see the end of this kind of confrontation. The next time there will be 2 strikes, then 4, then 100.
What happens will happen.
Huh?
The age of capital has only begun. I will talk to my employers in person. We will amputate and cauterize Martinez. If you handle the situation on the ground.
You're going now, or we? She generally avoids that term with her employers. I'm gonna do the check.
There are no employers. She's a member of the board.
Probably a partner. Okay, you are the Wild Pines. There are no employers. I was wondering about that.
You are the citizens' militia. There are no superiors.
What of course? Well, of course I have superiors.
That's right, Detective. And next time, you should confer with them before you go setting events in motion.
Ah, shit, Kim, come on.
Despite his words, he's not really sure whether to be annoyed with you or not. Events are already in motion. Whether your actions accelerated or momentarily retarded their progress, even the lieutenant cannot really say.
I answer for my own actions. I don't hide behind some faceless organization.
Here I am. I am the face, and I'm here to answer. Rejoice Layton.
You're going now?
Yes, Mr. Clare has a 2-month head start. I can't let it grow any bigger. And I've exhausted all my options from here.
Understood.
Keep the peace, and I will keep my end of the bargain.
How far along is Cronell's investigation?
A confrontation is imminent. They have followed in your footsteps. As your investigation reaches a climax, so does theirs. They are your shadow. Arm yourselves. Armor yourselves. Protect their targets. Violence may be unavoidable, but we can limit the casualties.
When will they make their move? Where?
Soon. I do not know precisely. They have cut off all communication, you see. They know I've been feeding you information.
Aha.
One last thing, Lieutenant Dubois. I've given the matter much thought and come to this conclusion. You're not an amnesiac. You're insane. I know, because I too am insane. I just hide my illness better. And I'm rich.
Isn't everybody a little insane?
No, Detective. No one's as insane as you.
Don't worry, madame. I am very sane.
What do you have?
I'm overexposed, baby. My travels take me through the Pale dozens of times a year. I've got the longing. And I've got it bad.
Huh.
She would die to return to it. The Pale, the past, anything one can return to.
And how do you keep your shit together?
The same strict psychological regimen the 8th Admiral developed when he crossed the Pale and discovered this Isola, the Volta do Mar. It's used by inter-Islary travelers and other troubled souls, even to this day.
You could use a little of it yourself.
Goodbye, Rejoice Layton.
Watch out for yourselves. They will strike soon.
The lieutenant watches her boat grow smaller on the bay, its white sails fluttering. With worry in his eyes, he does not know if it was the right thing to do, but he doesn't say anything. You wonder what Everart has to say about this. Slowly, the sails turn grey-blue as more oxygen gets between you.
Okay, autosave. So there's a choice then. I think I can go back to Everart. There might be a way. Hold on. Let's talk to you again.
The waves are beginning to die down.
Nothing.
Look at those little bastards. Simmer down.
Oh, Kim's presence makes it
Simmer
awkward.
down, bastards.
I forgot to read that. That's the person I need to check with once Kim goes for the night. I've got nothing else to unlock. And no new points. Where are we at? We are at half an hour. I'm gonna see. I know I started late due to all the stuff that I was trying to get done today. My apologies. Did want to try to get some gameplay in. Looks like we unraveled quite a bit. But I'm thinking, what's this here? I think that's just a waiting bench.
Worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
Okay. I think I should go back to Everart and talk to him. I wonder if there's still a way to prevent some of this stuff that's going to go on. Prevent some bloodshed. Now, it sounds like Joyce is going to go ahead and just relinquish this area, but still not sure that's going to be good. So I'm going to jog as quick as I can over to Everart, see what new news he has, or new interactions he has. I'm not sure how much farther I'll be able to get through this tonight, but I'm hoping I can at least get through what I have to talk, or anything Everart has to say. I know he tends to be a little long-winded. And I still haven't figured out if there was a fast travel or way to fast travel. I haven't really looked a whole lot. Would save a lot of time, but looks like I'm just jogging everywhere. That's not too bad. I mean, it's not the biggest map in the world. But she's saying to arm and armor myself, and we still haven't found the murder weapon. I'm wondering. See, it seems like it's coming to a head, but I've thought that a couple times in other games, especially, and there's still so much more to do. I'm wondering where I'm even close.
So, the ship has sailed. Did you see it? I know you did. Tell me, what did it look like as it grew smaller and smaller when that mainsail dropped behind the horizon?
There's a mean little light in its eyes.
Did it look like a germ? Did it look like a piece of bacteria?
His tone is totally different now. The jolly man of the people is gone.
That's what I figured would
and
happen.
So is the smile. His jaw is clenched, and his quadruple chin is quivering with hatred. This is decades of hatred speaking right now. You get a sinking feeling.
Now it looks like a boat, so no need to get overly dramatic.
You wanted us to relay all this information to her.
That this is a takeover? That I want a war? God, I hope you also told her about the drug trade. They absolutely hate getting their hands dirty with that. You can kill 1 million people, but if you do something the police doesn't like, well, then you're out of the yacht club. Goodbye, you inhuman fuck.
Now I know why you've been so forthcoming.
Harry, I can't see into the future. We are all playing by ear on this planet. I had no idea she'd react so strongly. I did. I knew the negotiations would go better with police officers telling her horror stories from inside the harbor. It's scarier this way. Turns out it was a magnificent strategy. I never thought it'd so fundamentally fuck her up.
Now I know why you've been so forthcoming.
No, Harry. What we have is real. We're working men. This here is real.
In there, under pillows of winter fat, his stress-ridden heart still beats furiously.
And how do you know she left?
Harry, I bunked her cabin. I bunked her whole boat. I had cameras surveying her boat. Hell, I even wanted to bug that thermal cap, but my boys advised against it.
So I've been listening to our conversations.
Not me personally. I had guys recording and processing this information for me.
The Hardy Boys?
Hell no! They'd fuck it up. They can't do anything right. I mean my real boys. My special task force boys.
Where are these boys?
They sure as hell aren't hanging out in the open with beers in their hands for the cops to question. They're pros, Mr. Kitsuragi.
You use me.
Harry, you made a conscious decision to relay that information to her. You could have kept it for yourself.
You used my intellectual curiosity against me.
Against you? Oh, Harry, I'd like to think I used it for you.
Uh-huh. But she told me a beautiful story of the discovery of the insulin.
Of course she did. Rich people have the best stories about all the interesting things they've done and seen, all the beautiful places they've been to. It's just sentimentalism. She can afford to be sentimental, and she can afford to lose as well.
But she said she's insane, like me.
She's not insane. What did she tell you?
She has sentimentality and longing about her.
Heh. She's a sentimental alcoholic. They all are, Harry. Never take a drop and you'll be 8 laps ahead of the upper-class winos, just like old Mr. Clare here. Try it. You'll be a real super detective.
I've actually walked the path of sobriety for a while now, and I have, actually.
I can see that, Harry. Alcohol has left its marks, but you're doing better than when I first saw you. Rich man is shitting himself. The working class sober.
So what's gonna happen now?
What was always going to happen? We take the harbour and she fucks off to Ozon, uncorks a bottle of wine, calls her partners, and says they need to distance themselves from this nasty business before the big shit spinner splashes everyone. Only difference is the Union doesn't have to lose 2,000 men to machine gun fire.
Let's see. But I swore field eater. She was my beautiful. I have a bad taste in my mouth. You better make sure this ends up saving lives.
That it will, Harry. That it will. As to the bad taste, please, you're not a sommelier. You're a cop. You knew something. Something big. And you wanted to see what happens when you tell someone. So you told her. Anyone who's ever been close to power will tell you. Inside information is the sweetest thing in the world. It's better than money. It's better than pussy. Money only makes you special for some salesmen. Pussy only makes you special for yourself. Information makes you special for all mankind. It's the ticket to history. Right on, Harry. What you did was participate in history. When history calls, you have to pick up. You had no choice.
It's
None
too
of us ever
slimy.
do. A hard disco cop like you, I knew you weren't one to resist temptation.
You know what, detective? I am going to leave this out of my report, and I suggest you leave it out of yours too.
Yeah.
Just look at the 3 of us. The 3 careless boyaderos. Good times, good times.
So what the fuck now?
Now we let bygones be bygones because there's work to do. For me and for you. I suppose there was a reason you came here, so let's have it. What can I help my best friend and comrade with today?
Oh, good God. I'm gonna leave. Okay, let's see here. Well, I do have to get going in a bit. I think my next step is, at this point, to be quite honest, that point of no return. However, I almost kind of want to wait till 1835 game time. I might pass some time. I want to see what happens if I change it, and I know it'll only be a point, or at least according to what I've seen so far. Hey, open that. It's a white check.
You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly.
I'm gonna persuade it to open.
And
Nope.
as it's always been, it's impossible to open a container with rhetoric. Maybe you're losing your mind.
That was bad. Bad roll too. God damn it. Okay. Now, granted, I wonder if some things. I'm beginning to wonder if some or certain things are fixed. Like, regardless of the chance of success, if it's ever going to succeed. And I'm tempted to test that theory, but it's going to take some time, considering the fact that I'm going to have to keep coming back once that white check opens up, and I don't think I have the available time to do so. Right now, my next idea is I'm going to pass time and wait until Kim leaves for the night to test a theory with, what's her name, at the Fishman Village. After that, I think it will be time to go to that point of no return and find Ruby, if that is in fact her hiding spot, the place with the footsteps under the Feld building. So what I'm going to do now is, like I said, I do have to get going, unfortunately. I'm glad I was able to get some playtime in, though. I'm going to go ahead and save the game here and end it for the night. And I might pass some time off stream, so, I mean, like, read a book, blah, 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 and get time to pass. And then when I come back to it tomorrow, we can start with Kim heading off for the night. And then maybe go straight into it from there. That way I'm not wasting your time with reading books and whatnot. So I do appreciate you coming by. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you had an enjoyable experience. And I know I do. I'm loving this game. I'm really eager to see what happens next, and I'm already planning ideas for another playthrough. Again, I don't know if I'm going to stream it, but I'm definitely got plans for another playthrough and how I might go about with that one. So thanks again for joining me, and I will be streaming The Evil Within later tonight, about 9 p.m. Central, roughly. So if horror is your thing, be sure to check me out here. Follow if you haven't, and you can get notified for when I go live again for The Evil Within. Also, I put all my streams up on YouTube, so if you missed anything with this video, or if you want to check out any of my other past streams, do check out my YouTube channel. Subscribe there, and you'll get notified once uploads are done. So, yeah, I get long-winded. I don't plan this stuff. Talk about being live. But thanks again. Really appreciate it. And I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.